Hello and welcome to News 500. I'm Stephen Allen.
And I'm Joel Dommett.
And these are the headlines.
Labour announces plans to double paid maternity leave, clearly ignoring 3 parent babies.
Welsh town carves giant penis into hill to put it on the map. Well, didn't work for me. High five.
Manson wedding called off as fiancé just wanted his corpse for display. She only wanted him for his body.
The government has recommended that shops do not place daffodils in the vegetable section in case people eat them. Efforts to place the bulbs in the home section caused house fires after a number of people put them in lamps.
Iggy Azalea launched a tirade at a pizza shop, Papa John's, after they accidentally gave out her phone number this week. I think I speak for everyone when I say, what's an Iggy Azalea and can we kill it before it lays eggs?
That's ridiculous. It's not going to lay eggs. Iggy's a boy's name. Some bright spark out there has developed an internet-connected electric condom. Let's hope that North Korea don't manage to hack into them, otherwise your bedroom antics could end up in a Seth Rogen film.
Users of the internet condom have said the device generally works well, except when streamed over Virgin broadband.
Streamed. Prince Charles has been in Jordan talking about terrorism. In order to remain impartial, he hopes to spend some time in Katie Hopkins as well.
A B&Q memo warned staff about a potential increase in the sales of cable ties and rope after the release of the film 50 Shades of Grey. Thankfully, the same didn't happen with the release of 12 Years a Slave.
And that brings us to the entertainment news. It's been a big one for awards. To tell us more, we're joined by News 500 media bitch, Larry.
Larry!
Hey there, and welcome to my Entertainment Roundup. It's all been going off at the awards ceremonies. BAFTA's host, Stephen Fry, called actress Patricia Arquette by her sister's name. He called her Rosanna Arquette. It could have been worse. He could have confused her with David Arquette. With a slight frame and facial hair, that's also how David looks. Mr. Fry later gave an award to the amazing film Boyhood, which is not just the name of a film, but also Stephen's pet name for his new husband. Eddie Redmayne won a BAFTA for playing Stephen Hawking in the film The Theory of Everything. It's a long film, but then again, they have to fit everything in. A controversial win, as for the second half of the film, it's not like Eddie even had to learn any lines. And stateside, there was chaos at the Grammys when singer Ed Sheeran was mistaken for a waiter. Meanwhile, Kanye West was mistaken for someone with talent. That's all for now. Back to you, Stevie.
Thanks, Larry.
Thanks, Larry. A new survey shows Britons are the most sexually adventurous couples in Europe. The problem is, I never go to Europe.
Oh, you should try it. Go to Germany. It gets pretty sexy.
9.
Speaking of sex in Europe, former IMF head and accused king pimp Dominic Strauss-Kahn has told a court in Lille he was unaware the women who participated in orgies were prostitutes. In his defence, he stated he was so shocked they wanted to have sex with a balding fat man in his 60s that he didn't bother to ask them what they did for a living.
He's also been accused of violent bum sex, which has made his local distributor of the big issue very nervous.
Certainly stops them asking if you want to buy a copy, though. Good plan. Philip Hammond, the Foreign Secretary, has said that Vladimir Putin has been acting so 20th century in his attitude towards the Ukraine. That's nearly as bad as his attitude towards homosexuals, which is quite 19th century.
Yes, prejudice like that often stems from fear. And to tell us more about both is News 500's Nervous Nelly correspondent, Archie Maddox.
What's going on? Social philosophy this week is fear. Time to stop being scared, people. The world is not a scary place, apart from Basra and maybe Syria and Norwich. I mean, they got webbed feet and lizard people up there. Shit. Time to stop being scared of what the media tells you to be scared of. Right now, it's Muslims. Recent reports stated that 7 out of 10 people admitted to being afraid of Muslims. The other day, I was walking down by an office. A man in a suit came out, shouted, "Alan!" Old woman standing next to me turns to me, says, "The Muslims are coming," and runs. Stop it. Are Muslims run by a bloke called Alan? No! Stop being scared. Last week marked what would have been Trayvon Martin's 20th birthday. Shut up, duck. And he was killed by George Zimmerman. For why? For wearing a hood while it was raining. Oh, don't piss me off. Black people get wet too, you know. And we shouldn't be afraid of rain because we think we might get shot now. And yes, I said we. I'm mixed race, but often define myself as black because if the BMP are chasing me down the street, they're not thinking let's beat up half of him. They're fucking up the whole thing. Tired of this shit. Stop being scared to make your own opinions. Stop giving time to people that don't matter. Like Bruce Jenner, who cares if he wants to become a woman? He or she now, I don't know, they don't matter. I think he won a gold medal once, so he's famous for being a Kardashian stepmother or brother. I don't know how it works, all right? No one gives a shit. They have a family of Ks and not a single one of them is special. Special K reference, what? Say something. Only difference now is that Kim is sucking media dick instead of literal pipe. Stop being scared. Only thing worth being scared of is sharks and bears and white people with nothing to lose. I'm off to Mercus Scone. Say something.
Thanks, Archie. You know, I'm actually quite scared of heights, Steve.
Samsung is warning customers not to tell personal information in front of their television sets. Football fans have been telling their partners the same thing for years.
Diane Louise-Jordan recently interviewed Prince Charles about Jordan. This is a new policy from the BBC, having presenters reporting on things to do with their last name. Nina Nana will now focus on ambulance sirens, and it's bad news for Zoe Ball.
And Jeremy Clarkson has to change his surname to Cars and Racism. European courts have said the UK ban on prisoner voting is illegal. Cynics agree, saying that if criminals can't influence the choosing of a government, how can they be expected to run the banks?
And finally, a snowy owl at a zoo in Poland has killed her mate because his penis was too small. I mean, it seems a little bit harsh. After all, maybe he wasn't the problem. Maybe she just had a massive feathery owl meat wallet.
Ugh, that's put me right off sex with owls. Oof. I mean, I wouldn't worry about penis size, though, if I could turn my head 360 degrees. That's it for this week's News 500, the week's news in 500 seconds.
Ish.